folks. Hello. Welcome back to the ShiteTalk podcast with myself and Mr. Aaron Kelly. This is episode 16, I believe.
It is.
Yeah. And we're back. Keeping up the consistency which we promised. So we're off to a good start anyway so far, mate.
Yeah, I had a bit of a stinker actually last episode because I said I think when we recorded it, it was 2 weeks since we'd uploaded our last one. And then by the time I got around to editing and uploading it, it was back to a month again. The last one. So bit of an L there, but you know, we're back, and this one is going to be 2 weeks. This one is going to be 2 weeks.
Yeah, we're aiming for the time frame anyway, boys. It's not we're not leaving you 2 months hanging anymore. But yeah, that's where we're at now. It's good to be back.
It is good to be back. I have someone's at my fucking door.
Oh.
We have
hello. Wow.
We have an unexpected guest on the ShiteTalk podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, this is definitely being left in. Yeah, there's no worries about that.
I'm gonna be famous.
I'm gonna be on ShiteTalk.
Famous.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Danny.
Have a nice trip.
Oh.
What a fucking start.
That's probably a better intro than I could have ever done. So
yeah, to be fair. Any big news happen over the last 2 weeks, mate? Anything wild or wonderful?
I mean, not majorly, mate. I mean, I'm trying to think now. What has anything major happens? I did. Yeah, this is how shit it is. I have done double the aerobic activity I did last month, so that is a dub. I'm pretty happy about that. I can't lie. Probably the only good thing that's come out of this lockdown, I'd have to say. But other than that, mate, it's getting to a really dry stage in the lockdown. Like I literally have fuck all news.
I have a fun fact, actually. I have a fun fact. We're recording this, ladies and gentlemen, on the 12th of March, 2021. I actually looked before we started recording here. It is exactly a year to the day since the first restrictions were put in Ireland, i.e. Schools, colleges. It was like when we were sent home, basically, from college. It's exactly a year to the day since then. That's mad.
You know what's crazy about it? Everyone says this, right? But like back then, like on this day, this time last year, like I remember being so happy. Like actually delighted, like being told, oh, you're going to have 2 weeks off. And, it was so like kind of naive. Like just thinking, 2 weeks off, be delighted. And now we're here this time, a year later, still in pretty much the same position we were in this time last year, with maybe a vaccine on the way at some point in the distant future. But yeah, it's crazy when you think about how long it's actually gone on for.
It's been the longest year ever, but it feels like it's gone by in a flash at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Like it's actually,
definitely.
It's so fucking weird. I just thought, I did think to myself, we must be getting in and around the 1 year mark coming up shortly since we went into lockdown. And I literally made sure to check before we started recording here. 12th of March, Varadkar came out and was like, this is the calm before the storm. Let's close all the schools and all that shit. And I totally agree. We were all absolutely gassed to hear that we were getting off college for 2 weeks, and then it's just been a downward spiral since then. Really,
I think the other thing that made it so good for us is that I think secondary schools as well, but this time last year, I mean, 2 weeks basically brought us up to April, which means we would have our April off, like our April holidays as well. So we were technically getting 5 weeks, free of having to get up early and commute and go to here or go to college and stuff like that. Like you say, mate, it's crazy. Like I mean, last year, as much as I would love, say, like for instance, where I work, there was definitely a time last year where everything with college, everything like that, where I was like, I just don't want to go to work. Whereas now, I kill actually to go to work. You know what I mean? Like it's
I totally get that. I'm the same with college, really. And luckily enough, this week, I'm back up in Maynooth on Tuesday for practicals for filming, so that's good. I mean, I've been absolutely dying to get back into when we went into lockdown this time last year. we had just started using the camera equipment. For anyone who doesn't know, I do media studies in college. We just started using the camera equipment, all that kind of stuff. And then we went into lockdown. And the fear has genuinely been, mate, that we qualify with our media studies degree, having never ever used any of the equipment. That has been the biggest worry.
Like the biggest part of your like course. You're just going, yeah, do you know what? You're fine. You're qualified now without even using the stuff. Like,
yeah. I mean, luckily we're back up in the studio this week. So
yeah, exact same with myself actually, mate. Like we're for the treatment of injuries that we're doing right now, like doing these tests to find out what specific area is injured. Like it's probably one of the most important parts of our module, and we're doing upper body now. But like yourselves, what we were told pretty much was that you probably won't be back in, but we're still going to pass you, despite you not having any knowledge on how to treat the upper limb. So, I mean, if you come to me with a broken shoulder or dislocated joints, you can forget about it because I can only treat the lower limb apparently. So like you say, mate, it was a bit of a scary period for a lot of college students who did have practicals. But like you say, now I think more and more starting to get back to college within the coming weeks, hopefully. Anyway.
Yeah, well, we say that nothing is. Like you said, there nothing has really changed, but we'd like to think that we're at the point now where we're light at the end of the tunnel. Like at the minute, I think, are we in lockdown till April now at the minute? Like, and that is due to possibly extend. I don't know how it's going to go, but
I think it's April. It's the first week of April. I don't know which day it is. I think it's the first week of April that they're reviewing how it's going. I mean, like positively, the numbers are down. And there's definitely, in the recent days, I've heard there's a lot more talk about easing a few restrictions anyway. So like your 5K limit. I think this morning or yesterday they were talking about returning, like sports teams returning to non-contact training or contact training. I can't remember exactly what terminology was used. But like you said, I mean, like there is positive to it. Like, I mean, despite a lot of other things that have been going on in the country recently, which we won't mention yet. But yeah, there's positives to it, I think, if you know what I mean. Actually, on the subject of that, like I actually remember going into a practical there for Christmas, before they started implementing more and more restrictions again, or easing them. I can't even remember when it was. But I came in, it was cold in winter. You know yourself, Kelly, down in these parts, it's a chilly old winter.
Yeah.
So I came in with, I had me a shirt underneath, I had a hoodie, and I had a jacket. Now I take enough layers of clothing, like, went into the class and, you're sitting with your pod, which is the group of people you spend the year with that are, your close contacts, and they're the only people you interact with. So sitting down there, and obviously you have to get, temperature checks.
Yeah.
And obviously everyone gets temperature checked. Now, because Greebach was wearing 3 or 4 heavy layers.
Oh no!
When it came round to me, she did the temperature check, and of course, I was, I think, 0.5 over the healthy temperature. And I shit you not, mate, the gun she used, like the temperature gun she used, literally emitted a siren when it just went, and I'm there sitting in the class. Everyone turns around to me, because it's obvious now what's happened now. And I'm there, and like I look at my lecturer, and she looks at me, and I said to her, I think it's just because I have layers of clothing on. And she goes, yeah, do you mind just leaving the class though, Jack? And I was like, okay, yeah. So I have to walk back out. And then she goes to me as I walk out the door, do you know what, Jack? I'll come back in 5 minutes and we'll just see, is it actually the jacket that is, if it was all the layers that keep you, or do you actually have to go home? So very traumatizing experience. But the worst part was walking back into the class.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
The shame, and everyone looking at you. And it's like, because I was there, like, I was preaching, like, honest to God, lads, it is literally just me jacket. But just when you mentioned about bad campus experience this year, oh my God, I mean, that traumatized me. I don't think anyone trusted me for like a week straight after that. Like, it was...
Oh God,
it's pretty bad.
That is terrible, mate. That is... Oh, I can only imagine the awkwardness.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
It reminds me of... I don't know if... I presume maybe you haven't. Have you seen Monsters, Inc., mate?
Yeah.
Do you know the bit where your man has like a sock on his back?
The sock,
like,
yeah.
They quarantine him and they're like fucking spray him down and like throw jumpsuits, and it's like, oh, literally the world has been changed forever after this pandemic. I swear to God.
Oh, fact, mate. Absolute fact.
I wanted to talk about the fact that this isn't going to be a long topic, but yeah, I put out the bold statement on Twitter that I thought last episode that we did was our best one yet, and certainly the one that I most enjoyed. What was your thoughts on that? I think it was a great episode.
Yeah, nah, definitely, mate. That was just, I don't know. Yeah, it's just one of those really good podcasts where, like, you know, it just works. I mean, we had like iconic moments, like the stories from school, the fucking the news headlines, which was just watching it back and just listening to the absolute shite we were waffling on about. And then obviously you have the Lily White in the back. There was just so many moments that, like, you know, I just thought it worked really well. Do you know what I mean?
It did, yeah. I agree. I think that section where we're talking about the classic stories from school, I genuinely think that is the best section of podcast that we have produced so far. Like 100%. I haven't laughed. Like I could go back and watch that a million times and I'd still fucking laugh at it. I think it's the way we told the stories as well. I think we smashed it.
I mean, like you say, like just looking back on all the crack that was had in school. Like I think we said last week, like as hard as school was, getting up early and, you know, have to go in and learn shit you never really wanted to learn. The crack that you used to have, man.
Yeah,
unbelievable. Like
yeah. I definitely think we'll revisit that for a sequel at some point.
Oh yeah, we'll have to. You know, just literally, I think even if we went back, even on Facebook, like I said, there's videos of my time.
I actually did go back after the episode.
Some of them,
some raucous videos and pictures.
Yeah, I was like, oh god.
I seen the one actually where what age would we have been? Would we have been 15 or 16? You came down to Keena and it was like snowing and we did dizzy penalties and we filmed it. I'm thinking to myself, this is the early days of Kelly and True Lily White football videos right here.
And like the simplicity of it, because nowadays, like, we'd say, you know, if it's wet and it's, you know, it'd be, you know, you'd be thinking, is it going to be a good video? Back then, it was like snowing. We didn't give a shit.
Yeah, that's so true.
We've stepped it up now.
Oh god, I think the biggest issue these days with recording in bad weather is, number one, the equipment is now actually expensive and not just like a shitey Sony Xperia phone, and also the pitch when it rains is so bad. I actually have a video coming out hopefully tomorrow, February recreations, and do you know what we had excellent weather like last week where it was just like really sunny, summer-like weather every day. We had that all week, and then on the Saturday, myself and Josh went in to record it, and the pitch was still shit. So it clearly doesn't. So it's like, well, anyway, I think that's just the pitch. That's the way it'll always be. It's part of the culture of this channel.
Yeah, I'll never forget actually the experience with proper bad weather again in the early days of Kelly and Gree Batch. Do you remember, man? I think it was probably the second or third ever video I did with you, but it was like some sort of volley challenge or something like that, or goal. Maybe it was goal recreation. I cannot remember. Would have to look back in it, but I remember at one point it was like we were in the middle in probably the only section of the pitch that was dry.
Yeah,
and literally to the left was like a river. It was a monsoon. I think someone actually did dive in and celebrate in it. I have to watch it back again, but. I mean, that pitch, mate, takes an absolute battering sometimes.
It really does.
Fair play to it, because it survives every time.
It really does. But I think that adds to the humor of this channel as well. I think
honestly, it does. Like, you actually remember even when you did the live? I can't remember what the channel name was for the live stream. Yeah, like I remember in the live comments, people saying, like, you know,
this pitch is terrible.
Just the classic Sunday League.
The squelching of this pitch is hurting my ears was one of my favorite comments.
They were talking about the noise. I was like, how did they hear that? Oh,
see, we're just used to it at this point. These are like, my ears.
It like fucking deafens them.
Oh, mate. Well, yeah, all fun and games.
Definitely, mate.
What did I want to chat? Yeah, okay. This is a pretty big headline from this week. I haven't done the weird stories thing this week, right? But
Yeah, no, that's fine.
We might bring it back
for
next. I would say next week's episode, but it'll be 2 weeks' time's episode. It's a big story circling around the world this week. Did you watch the Oprah interview with Harry and Meghan?
Honestly, no. The reason I didn't watch it was not because I don't care. I don't want to make it sound like that, but like I just think that I'm so far out.
Yeah,
I don't really keep up with that. I don't really keep up with Harry and the whole side of it. No, I didn't watch it. I kind of just knew though by even the interview with Oprah and everything that it was going to be big up. I did see obviously all the clips and whatnot,
the memes,
reactions. Yeah, all the reactions from it. But yeah, did you watch it actually out of interest?
I did. And like you, I wouldn't really have that much interest in it, to be quite honest. But this was something that kind of genuinely intrigued me because, like, the royal family is such like a tight knit thing, and you never really know like what's going on in it half the time. Only like what you see, obviously, in the public, but like behind closed doors, it does make you question. And it's very rare that like somebody or two people in this case involved in it come out and like talk about what goes down. And it was a very interesting interview, and to be honest, it was a bit sad to hear.
Yeah. Like from the statements I was hearing that they were claiming, like you saw, it was all over the internet, like screenshots of like the statements they were making, like like some really serious accusations, like in real heavy, kind of way.
Yeah, like the whole thing about Meghan talking about what she went through mental health wise and all that kind of shit. Like it was a bit of a hard watch, man. I can't lie. Like she was, it's almost some pretty heavy stuff, and like how restricted she was, and how like unprotected she felt by the royal family. And it's not like she made sure to perfectly, like, for clarity, she did make sure to say that Queen Lizzie was always really, really good to her. Like, and she was never any of the issue, but like she didn't drop names, and that's the biggest thing. And I didn't really expect her to, but she made some very, very wild accusations, and there was a lot of fallout from that. Obviously, the next morning on Good Morning Britain, Piers Morgan walked off after being absolutely owned by the weatherman. And then he just left ITV, or left Good Morning Britain, and never to return.
Yeah, I mean, like, did you see the clip? Or actually, the people were saying, "Oh, it's Karma," because he tore apart the weatherman at one point early on. Like he did the exact same thing. He was like patronizing, I guess. About the weather, and then the weatherman walks off, and now a couple of years later, like you say, mate, he fully got him. He fully got him in the corner, and for Piers Morgan, who's someone who is very strongly opinionated and is happy to sit there sometimes and shout and roar across people to get a point across. For all of that, like, he can't take a simple
rebuttal.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it shows a lot about where and what kind of presenter he is. Now, obviously, Piers Morgan has said some things that I think a lot of people agree with. Not a whole lot, but he has made some valid points. There is a whole lot, like I say, that people don't agree with.
Yeah.
So like I say, for him not to be able to stand there as the host even of Good Morning Britain and reply to the rebuttal, just walk off like a child. I mean, it just says a lot. Like,
yeah, it does. Yeah. Did you see as well? He actually, incredibly, he took 2 massive L's in the one day, because earlier on in the show, like right at the start of the show, actually.
Oh my God, I remember this.
An incredibly inappropriate comment about one of his co-hosts who turned up in like a dress, and he was like, "Oh, well, summer's arrived," and all this fucking shit.
Oh.
And I was like, are we just going to ignore the fact that he just said that? on live television.
Yeah, and the worst part about that was he actually felt like he didn't realize what he did.
Yeah.
He just kind of said it, and it went about. And I think she said it at some point as well. I think the woman in the dress was just saying like, "Oh, it's just a dress, like, calm down."
Yeah.
Like I was just saying, was this not during like the week of International Women's Day and International?
Yeah, all in the one week.
All the times, and he's done that live on TV, and there's absolutely no sense that he knows what he's done.
Yeah.
I don't know, mate. That's.
I think people like that just there's no saving them, realistically. Like there is no saving them.
The thing is, like, he has his own show, like Good Morning Britain. That's his show.
Yeah.
Like, he's hosted that for how long now? I mean, I don't know, mate. Like you say, it's just common sense, even.
Yeah. I seen a clip from an interview from a couple of years ago came out from, of all places, The Late Late Show with our very own Ryan Tuberty, when Piers was on it. And they were talking about Meghan Markle.
Oh, I remember this.
And Piers is talking about how he, was close friends with Meghan, and then she met Harry, and then she just kind of cut him off. And a lot of people feel like that is the reason why he's so, what's the word? Salty, yeah, towards her. Is that she basically cut him off. And I don't know what he was expecting to happen. Like, if you're a knobhead, people have the right to just bun you off. Like, realistically, they do.
Yeah.
They do. And she's like, I've seen that and I was like, is that really that's like the pettiest thing ever, if that is the reason why he's so horrible?
In all honesty, mate, like you say, I can very much see that be the reason, or at least majority of it. Like, I mean, I like you say, it's like, you've seen what he's like this week. He walks off his own show, he is oblivious to quite clear and alive, sexual harassment.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know. Did you actually change the subject or completely, but it just came into my head. I think you retweeted it. But who was the two lads, the YouTubers, or they called up, or they interviewed interviewers or writers for the Royal Journal or something like that.
Josh Peters and Archie Manners.
Yes. And that was quite spectacular. It
really, really was.
Now, this might be hard because I don't actually know if this is true. This is just me trying to go back from memory. But when they called them, basically, they called all of them. I think the first question they asked was, did you watch the interview? And I think all of them said no.
Yeah, the interview hadn't come out yet. So not only had they not seen it, nobody had seen it. So they're making comments about an interview that hasn't come out yet. Yeah. That's basically the long and short of it. They royally fucked up. I don't think they're journalists. I think they were royal experts that maybe write for some magazines or some shit like that. Like, they're knobheads, like, realistically, let's be honest.
But like you say, mate, like, just that alone, like, we're talking about, obviously the Harry and Meghan situation. Like, before they've even heard it, they already know what they want to say, like, and if they're, royal experts, obviously they're going to be biased, obviously they're going to be this and they're going to be that. But I think, like, it just shows the situation over there, like, how it's, like, I know a lot of people are on the side of Harry and Meghan, but some people are just, like you say, they're gone, they're lost, I'm sorry, but
a lot of people as well, actually, are on the opposite side of the fence. And
Twitter actually was full of people, mate, that were very vocal about it.
Yeah, I think to wrap that up, I think the best way to look at it is these two people have left this massive. What would you describe the monarchy as? Like a system sort of thing? Like, would you call it a system?
Yeah.
Like, they've left this system to break free from any duties that they have to do and to start their own life, right? People should just let them do that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. No matter what your beliefs are, no matter if you're the biggest fan of the monarchy ever, just let it go. Like, they're gone. They've started their own life. In my view, people who give out about it, I'm kind of like, don't you have your own life too? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the way I'm looking at it.
Exactly. And exactly like that, mate. And like you say, I'm of the opinion that, you know, there's so many more problems as of right now. Like, we're in a pandemic. We're coming towards the end stages where we're actually all, like, you know, we all need to actually do our bit to get through it. You know, there's so much going on, as without even mentioning, you know, a person's personal life. To take the time to be that upset about two people choosing to, like you said, just live their own life, which they have every right to, if we're being honest here, because, you know, I just can't understand it. Like, you know, like you say, you have your own life, just don't bother. Like, why would you even take the time out of your day? Like, I know people are opinionated nowadays, and, you know, that's just the way, you know, that's just the way things are. But, like, there's just no point. Like, I think I saw someone said, like, no, Megan's never going to see your fucking comment, and, you know, it's never going to make a difference at the end of the day. So what's the point? You know?
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's bang on. And a lot of people have been saying as well, oh, well, like, what was the point in her coming out and doing this interview and all that? Because if you see the type of headlines that have been written about you, that have been written about Megan, and they're false, like she claims, like, we don't know for certain, but we can only go off, like, her word. And you know what? Even some that are just flat out ridiculous. Wouldn't you want to clear the air as well, or wouldn't you want your name to be clear as well? Like, you don't want people to view you as an absolute, like, prick. Yeah, and that's what people view her as. I see, like, in the Oprah interview, they showed a couple of headlines that was like, it was comparing Kate Middleton and Megan. Right, this is one clear example, and I found this so funny at the time. I let out a massive. I just broke into a massive fit of laughter. Right, it was a headline from the same newspaper article, or from the same newspaper source. I can't remember which one it was.
Right.
It was one that said Kate Middleton eats avocados to help with, like, pregnancy or something along those lines, right?
Right. Okay.
Fair enough. Megan does the same thing, and there's an article written about her saying how her eating avocados signifies her love of the devil and death and suffering.
Oh, Lord.
Man, how laughable is that? Like, realistically.
I mean, yeah, do you know what? Yeah, it's true, isn't it? Like, I mean, you eat avocado, you just support the devil. Like, you just do. I mean, that has to be the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Like, I can't even justify or even... there's no logic.
No.
Like, without even reading the article, because in all honesty, when that's the headline, why would you even bother reading the article? Like you say, it's hate for hating's sake. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, when you see, like you say there, you know, Kate Middleton eats avocado, nothing said. You know, Megan eats it, and she's trying to have the Antichrist, lads. You know, like,
it's absolutely laughable. But, like, there was a lot. There was a lot
as well.
Yeah, go on.
Sorry, you go
on. Yeah, it raised a lot of questions as well, because, you know, of not only what was the thing I was going to say? Yeah, like, the biggest question that was raised was the question of race and racial injustice and prejudice and all that kind of stuff. And I think that article, whereas not being flat out racist, did you hear the claim that Megan made?
Was it something to do with the royal family is supporting, or, like, didn't want her child to be a dark skin, or afraid of it being a dark skinned? Yeah.
I heard that and I was like, wow. Oprah's reaction. Oprah just went, what? And I was the same. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I think that probably was the biggest bombshell. And I know, lads, we only are saying it's a claim, and, like, we are only going off, you know, her word. which is what we want to stress when we're talking about this. But if that is true, mate, I mean,
it's unreal.
No.
Unreal stuff. But what were you going to say there?
You know what? I've actually completely forgotten because that just remembering that has actually thrown me off so much. What was I trying to say? I can't remember. Probably just along the lines of just, the accusations that she's making, are very, very serious. She's talking about mental health and obviously, again, the race thing. Like, for people to come out and say, these things about her and say, oh, the mental health thing, that's not true. She's just making that up. Like, we don't know at the end of the day, lads. We don't know. And again, these are only the accusations and we are only going off what she's saying. But like, I can't understand that there isn't a tiny bit of empathy there. Like you said, I didn't watch it, mate, but you said you watched and you said it was very difficult to watch. I can't imagine that a person can sit there and watch that interview and listen to, a husband and wife. They are married, aren't they?
Yeah.
That shows, lads, how far out of it I am. It is hard to hear, like, them literally opening up about something that they've had to, keep quiet about for so long. It's crazy to think that, people are actually hating. Like I say, obviously there are accusations. We don't know if they're true. But even if they're, even if you don't believe they're true, you don't have to say anything negative about it. Like, just leave it. Mm-hmm. Like, at the end of the day, the truth will eventually come out. Hopefully, there will be, an element of truth that will come out of it. Or maybe it won't. We'll never know. But I just think that the way the whole event has been handled by certain people, certain, tabloids and newspapers and articles, really does show how, disgusting some of these places and people are. Do you know what I mean? Like,
that's exactly it. Like that's how they make their money, is off clickbait articles that are stupid and more often than not complete and utter lies and
false.
Yeah, so it's like, that's just always the way the media is going to be. And that with a mixture between that and how trapped she felt within the royal family, all kind of convoluted to this overwhelming fear of, or feeling of anxiety and depression that she got. And it was just like, as I said, mate, it was a very, very tough watch, but I think she definitely came out with a good message, and hopefully people took something from that. And in that regard, I think that's the biggest thing that I took from it, is that that is a worthy message.
Like exactly like that, mate. Like, if anything, just like I said, the take home would just be, oh Jesus, I've fired up, brain fire. Oh no, oh God, yeah.
But anyway,
such a shit way to end that topic. Agree, what's that stinker? Oh, lads, I feel horrible. Oh
no,
that has not just happened live. Oh my God.
What happened? You just didn't think of something to say?
That's it, mate. I had something to say, and then you just can't. You let me go, and then I was like, "What the fuck was I trying to say?" It just went, and then all of a sudden it froze. I just looked at myself in the camera and was like, "I don't know what I'm trying to say here, lads." Greenback just crumbled live on fucking air.
Greenback just crumbled under the pressure.
Oh my God, that has never happened, boys. Oh God. All right, I didn't mean to. Just for the record, I did not mean to make that end on like that. But sorry about that, boys. Jesus Christ.
Oh, all right. Well, we'll move on before.
That's one for the clips.
Yeah. Right, I'm gonna go for a piss real quick, and then I'll. Oh my God.
I'm gonna head downstairs and reset my brain for a second. Oh fuck.
Welcome
Walk of shame. He's a bottler.
Bottled it on the big stage, man.
Honestly, mate, that was the biggest bottle I think I've ever had live with you. That was insane. I still can't get over that happened.
Oh, that was too funny. Too funny. Right. We'll move on. Welcome back to the second half of ShiteTalk, everyone. We took a little break there. This isn't really basically, you know what? The only way I put up my Instagram stories and they'll be like, get in your topics for the next episode of ShiteTalk and all that shit. And I rarely get anything that's like a running meme on this channel. Well, basically, I decided over the last 2 weeks to take it into my own hands to whenever something happens that is podcast worthy, take it down in my little notes. And although this isn't a massive thing that I wrote down, it was still very interesting and, if I'm being honest, a little bit surreal, right? So basically, I was going down to, Danny was driving me down to the track at the bog here to go for my run. And sticks on iRadio in the car. And who starts playing? But bloody KSI.
What? No way.
Yeah. Do you know his song with Anne Marie?
Oh, yeah.
That started playing in the car, and I was like,
man.
I started absolutely roaring out the lyrics to KSI in the fucking car on the way to my run, and I was like, you know what? This is amazing.
He's done it.
I've seen that, I heard that, and I was like, oh, that is really cool. Like, I've never, like, it's one thing seeing him get like millions and millions of views on his like music videos or whatever. Yeah. But to actually hear him on the radio, like, that is something that I never thought. Like, what dimension are we living in right now that KSI is playing on the radio? Yeah.
You think back to like the good days, well, say the good days of KSI, but the old days of KSI in like 2012, where he did like 15, like a minute worth of footage, and it was just FIFA funnies where it just people sent him footage basically.
Yeah.
From that to now making songs that are going on the radio and everything like that, like it's unreal to see. Like you say, man, like, call it fangirl or whatever you want, but like that's so cool to see, like, that development.
It was a very Danny said when he was working on Sunday, and he said 3 different KSI songs came on while he was working last Sunday. It was like Don't Play, Really Love, and Lighter all came in within his fucking whatever 8 or 9 hour shift, whatever it was. I was like, that's actually a bit mad, but you should have seen me. I'm just there sitting in the passenger seat of Danny's car, like, don't play games. Yeah, I can
imagine Kelly banging the roof.
Oh man, it was absolutely elite. But
that's class. That
has to be mentioned because pretty unreal.
Legendary moment.
Oh, unreal. Staying on the topic of YouTube, Jake Paul, right? We talked about him a lot. Jake Paul. Oh, sick.
This fucking guy.
But obviously he's recently transitioned into the world of boxing, and I think he's got a fight coming up shortly, actually, against Ben Askren or something like that. But he was called out during the week by Tommy Fury.
Yeah.
Did you see the call out videos?
It was the weirdest call out I have ever seen in my life. With all respect, now, Tommy's a big lad. I put this out there now, lads. If I was Jake Paul and I saw, the son of, Fury calling me out, I'm not going to lie, I would probably shit myself. If it had been any other way than what he did, I probably would have been like, yikes. He put a fucking wig on his head, acted like him for 10 seconds.
What's amazing is he looked more like Logan than he did Jake.
Yeah, that's the thing. He just looked. I don't know, mate. But like I said, like people were saying that Tommy calling him out. It's actually going to be an even fight. It's going to be this, going to be that. That fight isn't even. It's not even confirmed the fight's going to happen. Like, I don't even know if. I think he did acknowledge it at some point, didn't he, Jake Paul? Or
I think he laughed him off. I think he basically said, "Yeah, you're not relevant."
I mean, no offense to Tommy, but like, you would. like I said, if you call him out in any other way, like you say, if you just saw an image of Tommy, I doubt Jake Paul knows who Tommy Fury was, or maybe he does. I don't know.
He actually said, "I wasn't aware Tyson Fury had a brother."
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
But like, if he had saw that, I reckon he would have been a bit more like, yeah, geez. But the fact that he's called him out in the way he's called him out, and he's tried to almost take the piss out of him doing it in a video as well, is very,
yeah.
You know, and he calls out, you know, he gives out about him being a YouTuber, stick to your YouTube shite, as he's, you know, making a call out video. You know, I just kind of thought, not the best argument, mate, but
yeah, I think it will be an interesting fight, but
I'd like to see it, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, I'd like to see it.
I think they actually are in and around the same size height-wise. Now, I thought Tommy Fury was way taller than Jake, but apparently Tommy Fury's only 6 foot. Apparently.
I'll take him, so.
Get the green back. Aaron Kelly will pass on the 5'9", but you know we'll move on. Yeah, no, I think it would be a genuinely interesting fight. Like, I kind of hope Jake takes it. I can't lie. Like that, I think I'd be more interested in seeing that than I was ever interested in seeing Jake fight Nate Robinson or Ben Askren. So, no, definitely. By all means.
I think as well the aspect of having, you know, someone we know who's a boxer and, like, you know, is the son of Fury already. Like, it'd be pretty fucking cool to see, you know, them square up. Like, I'd actually like you said, I'd like to see, like, you get a lot of attention. I reckon it probably would be a big fight.
Yeah, I think it would as well. I think it could be a very, very interesting one. But for some reason, I just can't see Jake taking it. I don't know why, but
like, with all fairness to Jake, like, you know, I wouldn't have said he's the worst at boxing.
No,
like, I wouldn't say, like, you know, people say, oh shit, because, you know, they don't like him. I wouldn't say he's the worst, but I think against someone, you know, who has always been in that world of boxing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he would have grown up with his dad, you know, being a boxer. You know, you're in it, like. Do you know what I mean?
I think Tommy is actually Tyson's half brother. I think I checked that recently. I don't think he's his son. I think he's his half brother, man. Hang on, I'll come back. He's gone. He's out the door.
Oh, gee, that's just. I don't know what's going on with Green Match today.
Hang on. Let me just clarify this. If he is his son, then I've looked like an absolute tit here. Hang on.
One of us has looked like a tit, and I have a horrible feeling it's Green Match.
Let's Google this. Let's Google this real quick. What is?
Can't take 2 hours in one video.
Surely not. What is Tommy Fury to Tyson Fury? Oh no.
No, Kelly. No, you're lying to me. You're lying to me.
Tommy is the younger half brother of Tyson Fury.
Fuck's sake!
Oh no. Oh God, no.
Well, that's why you should do your research, boys.
I actually didn't know myself up until recently. I thought he might have been like, I don't know, like maybe Tyson was his uncle or a cousin or something. I didn't honestly know myself, but I think I checked it recently and it was like half brother. So apparently,
yeah, I knew he was some relation to Fury, lads. I swear I had heard him called his son, but clearly not.
Clearly,
the second time in 15 minutes, Greenbatch has capitulated.
Well, look, that's all part of being on the ShiteTalk podcast.
That's the podcast.
I took an L last week by calling our Instagram the Shite Podcast. So I mean, there we go. You know, we've all taken L's on this podcast.
And karma comes around.
Yeah. Let me see, what else have we got? Yeah, this is a small thing as well, but I mean, it's so stupid. You can now buy tweets.
What?
You can buy tweets these days. For some reason, that was a thing that I seen this week.
So
basically, KSI tweeted something, and Callux bought his tweet for like $10 or something. Hang on. Oh, thanks very much. Look at this Greenbatch, fucking room service, man.
Oh yes.
Sorry, Jack, none for you.
Don't worry, you know.
So what was I saying? Yeah, KSI tweeted something, and Callux bought it for like $10. So like that tweet now belongs to Callux for some reason.
Mate, what is the point of that? What is
Honestly, no clue.
realistically? What is the point of that? Like, could you imagine? Like, I know probably Calix only did it as a joke, just a wind up. But could you imagine, like, actually spending money on a tweet?
I'd imagine a lot of people are doing it for the meme and that, but like, I don't really get. Like, a lot of things are coming with social media. You kind of think, you know, a lot of the time there's a premise to it, like there's a point. I just don't see any reason why anybody would want to buy a tweet.
Like you say, mate, it is so stupid in concept as well when you think about it. Like you're buying something that someone else tweeted that could be completely unrelated to you, and yet you've just gone, "I'll buy that."
Like, can you imagine how much you'd have to pay to buy like an Elon Musk tweet?
I'd imagine a lot, but
too much.
You buy one of his iconic tweets.
Yeah. Oh, mate. He just tweets memes as well, so you know you're getting good value for your money there. But yeah,
yeah.
I just thought that was so stupid, and I had to mention it.
It is stupid, mate. It is like to think that is a thing, and Twitter actually sat down. We're like, that's a good feature. You know, we'll add that to our app.
Yeah.
You know,
unreal.
Mate.
Fucking hell, God, take a bite out of this fucking. Wow, cheese is stuck together. Love that. I don't want to do an ASMR on it, so.
Boo.
Right. What else did I have? Yeah, this one is more recent, and it actually is interesting for a discussion, right?
All right.
Have you heard about the FIFA controversy over the last few days?
FIFA controversy. FIFA, like the game, or FIFA the organization?
FIFA the game.
Was it something to do with a player or someone selling icons?
Basically, the story goes that an employee from EA has been selling icons, like prime icons, like Pele, Maradona, R9, Ronaldinho. He's been selling all these. Hang on, who's at my door?
Sorry, you're getting into your mammy sent this up to you by WhatsApp earlier on. She said to show Jack. It's a band called Stiff Little Fingers doing alternative Ulster. And the fella is supposed to look like you, Jack.
Is this? I think I've seen this. I might have seen this before.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, show him. Hang on, lift it up to the camera.
Oh my God, I've seen this before. This is crazy.
You're a doppelganger.
I wish Greebatch could look like that. Imagine that's Greebatch there.
All right. Well,
that's incredible.
We've had little cameos from my dad and Danny in this episode, so if anybody else wants to join us, by all means.
Give him a text now.
Yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, the FIFA. So there's a guy who was working at EA. I can't imagine he is anymore, but apparently he's selling. Gone. He's got to be gone. He's selling prime icons like Pele, Maradona, R9, Ronaldinho to just people who pay for them. So like he's just getting them and saying, if you pay me $1,000, $2,000, whatever it costs, I will put this card into your account.
Jesus.
And people are kicking off about it because it's just straight up cheating the game at this point.
I mean, it is. Like, let's call a spade here. Like, it is full on cheating. Like, I know people say, you know, FIFA's pay to win, but I mean, that's taking the piss a little bit. I mean, like, could you imagine though? Like, imagine being that deep into FIFA that you've gone and spent what, £2,000 or euros on a shitty card. Like, well, not a shitty card, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
At the end of the day, that only lasts you. You spent 2,000 on something that's going to last you probably till what, early September at most.
Yeah.
And it's gone. Like, if I'm paying 2,000 for something, you know, I want fucking value for money. Like, you know,
yeah.
I think like you could probably buy a car, a decent enough car for 2,000. Like, in all seriousness, like,
yeah,
why would you waste it? Like you say, and the controversy behind even just, you know, accepting payments and then putting cards into the accounts is a bit crazy.
It's unbelievable. And a lot of FIFA players, now obviously I'm not a FIFA player these days, not really. I mean, last time I played FIFA was probably about 3 weeks ago at this point. We're and I only play like kickoff with Danny and Josh. I don't really play. I started an Ultimate Team, but haven't really got playing it because I can't be arsed, like. But yeah, a lot of people, FIFA players, have been kicking off about it big time because I can imagine the pain. I can imagine you spend so many hours on this game grinding to get the team that you want, and then there's just this prick giving them out for profit. Like I if it was me and I was a FIFA player, like a consistent FIFA player, I would be a bit livid. I can't lie.
Yeah, and you think about this as well, mate. Like you could be playing FIFA the whole time it's out, like play Ultimate Team, and like you may never get, those icon players, or you may never get these best players. Like you say, then someone just comes along and spends a couple of grand on it, and then bang, just has it instantly, like. And you talk about like that, they're the most overpowered cards in the game. Some of them, like, apparently are ridiculous. Like, the same as yourself, I don't really play Ultimate Team too much. I'm not really, I'm not really into it. But like, you can just imagine the rage behind it, like, and for EA, who in a game that is already, got such a lot of such a lot of shit already, like, probably not the best thing.
No, it's a massive L. I think they have come out and addressed it, and we're going to get to the bottom of this, but it's not a good look on their part. It's not a good look on their part. Like,
realistically, even if they get, like, they will solve it. It's EA, like they'll get it figured out. Well, they honestly though, they can't take back, the torment that some players have been put through when they come up and play against a full team of icons.
Like the only way you can fix this, and it's not going to happen because it seems incredibly like not feasible, but the only way you can make it a level playing field again is if you give everybody a choice of like an icon, like one of the best ones. Yeah. If you give every single FIFA player in the world that plays Ultimate Team the choice of a prime icon of like 4 or 5, for me, that is the only way that you fix this and there to be no bad feelings about it. Or so it's a massive mess, and one that I can't see them really get into the as you said, you probably will get to the bottom of it, but it's a very, very hard fix now. And I do reckon that this kind of incident will have turned a lot of people off the game as well now.
Well, if not the game itself, definitely Ultimate Team. Like, I think people, to be honest, were hanging on FIFA, like just literally by a thread, like just about in it for the the game and stuff like that. Like, now that this has come out, like, I don't think a whole lot of people play career mode. I think the only other game mode that's probably even half as popular as Ultimate Team right now is probably Pro Clubs. So I can imagine maybe people will buy it for that aspect, but I mean, like you say, I don't know, mate. Like, it's not good, and I like you said, I think that will probably push people away unless it gets properly resolved, like you say.
Yeah, it's an absolute mess. I'm just glad that I haven't spent and wasted so much time and money on that game that it really like emotionally affects me. But
yeah.
I know if I did, I'd be absolutely bloody livid right now.
Mate. Well, actually, I actually did play Ultimate Team for a while, actually, back in 2014, 15, and I took it very seriously as well. Like, I was young. Like, Greebach was, he was a happy lad, and then Ultimate Team came into my life, and I smashed the controller off my wall in the TV room downstairs. So I stopped playing Ultimate Team after that. But yeah, you can imagine if that's you can imagine the emotion involved with Ultimate Team already, and then finding out this is going on. Like you say, it's a crack altogether.
Have you ever spent money on the game? Have you ever bought FIFA points?
I think I might have bought like the lowest amount, or like the second lowest amount, like just enough to get, I think, 2 or 3 like proper packs. Like, I think I did it when Team of the Year came out.
That's maybe the time.
I think that's the only time to do it, because I had good pack luck. Like, what I do every year, lads, is right. I know I said I don't play Ultimate Team. I don't play matches in Ultimate Team. But what I will just start off doing, just see how far I get, is I'll do the starter packs. I'll do the free packs you get. I'll sell players and just see, do I have enough to get a pack, like a gold pack or something like that, or a decent pack. And then I'll open probably one pack. And if I get nothing from that pack,
I'm not going back to that game.
never going back. Whatever the percentage odds are of getting a good player, even if I'm massively stacked against me, that's just like, nah, I'm done. But yeah, that was the only year I actually had decent pack luck. So I was like, right, fair enough. I'll spend money, and typically enough, I didn't get anything after that. So it's like, good luck. Out the door.
I think the best time that I've had playing Ultimate Team has been during the extension for FIFA 18 for the World Cup in Russia, because you got a completely new team. You got the most insane packs. I remember one time I packed Suarez, and I was like, "Oh, this is actually insane." And then I was like, I did an SBC to get an icon, and you could get icons so easily through SBCs in the World Cup mode in 2018 in FIFA 18. And I got fucking Pele, man.
I think you sent it to me actually.
I was like, oh my god! You know what? It was too easy, but it was fun at the same time. You know what I mean?
It was the excitement of actually getting like fucking Pele. Like,
I remember I was like, oh my god! But yeah, it was fucking. It was good fun. That's the most fun I've ever had playing Ultimate Team. To be fair,
fully agree with you, mate. That probably is the best game mode add-on ever.
Yeah, well, hopefully they do something similar for the World Cup next year. Hopefully, if I have FIFA next year, we'll see.
Yeah, surely.
Let me see what else. Oh, look at this. We've run out of topics, but we're on to the very few Instagram responses that we got. So shout out to the real ones who have helped us out with topics and questions this week. And we've got 4 questions, but 3 of them are like similar, right?
Okay.
And all by the same person, but the second one, the last one is a different one. The last one is someone different. Oh god, love being a small podcast.
When you said, well, yeah, we got 3-4 questions, and I was like, oh, sound. Next thing, they're all by the same person. They're all the same. I was just like, oh no, because I know we both know who it is. Like,
it actually wasn't who you think it was.
Was it? Was it not? I thought it was that.
It wasn't Danny. It wasn't Danny.
Oh man.
So happy days there. All right, and ask the one that's different first.
Okay. This has to be a banger question because it's like.
It is. Yeah, it actually is a good question. It has to be a banger question or we're fucked.
We're goose. Like.
It actually is a decent question. Okay. Seeing as though you boys record a lot of football videos, who's the one baller you'd love to film with?
Oh yes,
that's a good question.
Yeah. I assume by baller we mean professional footballer.
Yeah.
Not just like football YouTuber or anything like that.
Yeah, not like Jack Kane or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Been there, done that. Check that off the checklist.
Yeah. All right. The footballer I would love to play with the most.
Film a video.
Yeah. I would say Wayne Rooney. And that's probably not what a lot of people would expect. But I don't know if anyone remembers, but Wayne Rooney had a series on Sky back in the day. It was like street football.
Yeah.
Or something like that. It was basically where, elite program. And you see the stuff that man does just messing around with a football in the street. Like, I think, and as well as him being like a huge icon to me growing up, like I've said it before, he is by far one of my all-time best strikers I've ever watched. Yeah. I would love just to I know people, he's a bit,
over the hill.
People have their opinions on Rooney. I like him as a player. I actually would really like to play with Rooney, not just to just talk him as well, but like you see from the FIFA Street thing. Like, I think I could make some like decent football video out of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could do, like I said, just because of the show he's done.
Yeah,
there's so much range you get with him. Like, you can when you become a footballer, you can just say, oh yeah, we'll do crossbar and we'll do a penalty shootout or whatever, and that's all well and good because that's their comfort zone. But like, you add a few challenges in. Kelly's in the mud.
Yeah, go, keep going.
No. All I was saying was that I just think it'd be cool to have, like, you can definitely have a bit more variety, and like, you don't have to just stick to conventional, crossbar, free kick. with Rooney, he is a player who, you know, has done street stuff, and he does these mad touches where you drop the football off apartment buildings, and then he touches it and then tries to finish in a wheelie bin or something like that. I just think it'd be so good. I'm not saying that other players couldn't do that, but I'm just saying because
Rooney has done that.
Yeah, like I'd like to see, does he still have that in his locker, or can Greavac unlikely beat him?
Get the dub.
That would be something.
I will say this, 2010, 2011 Rooney was different fucking gravy, mate. Like
he was insane.
He was one of the best players in the world, hands down. Like I remember that goal he scored in the 2011 Champions League final against Barcelona. Although he didn't win it, what a goal! Like what an insane goal.
Mate, unbelievable. And like that's the thing about Rooney. Like I feel like so many people forget, because I think it just happens naturally with players. Like as you get new generations of players. But like you said, the goals that Rooney scored, I will never forget some of the goals. Like you said, the one against Barcelona, I will never forget the bicycle kick against City. Like I watched that live as a child on match. I know not live, but on Match of the Day with that, because we didn't have Sky. But we didn't know the score of the game. This is the only way we found out about it. You got the Match of the Day, or remember RT used to do a show,
Premier Soccer Saturday.
Show. Yeah, that was so good. I wish they still did that. Yeah. But I remember watching that with Dad, and just both of us going absolutely insane. Like, because Rooney was a big lad. Like he was a big lad, and to see him do that was just unbelievable, mate.
Yeah, he was so good. And you know, it does annoy me when people look past how good this guy actually was. Like when Rooney in his prime. When I say Rooney's prime, see, I think people forget about he did kind of drop off early. Like he was only like 30 when I think when he left United, he was only like 30, 31, and he was starting to kind of drop off. But those prime years, like I always feared when Chelsea came up against Manchester United because of Wayne Rooney. And you know, you had other players back in the day like your Tevez and Ronaldo, of course, as well.
Yeah.
But Rooney was the one. Rooney was the one that I was like, fuck, if we can keep Rooney quiet today, we're going to keep United quiet, because he was the guy. Like, he was the guy.
He really was. He just had that hunger about him to get them goals. Like you say, Tevez and, you know, Ronaldo, obviously, Tevez as well in particular was very, very good for us at periods. But just Rooney just was different, man. Like he would do anything to get a fucking goal. Like he looked crazy enough that he would do anything for a goal as well. Do you know what I mean? Like he had that kind of energy to him.
Yeah, he started well in management as well now, hasn't he, with Derby County as well? So we'll see how that.
What about you anyway, Kelly? So Kelly, you're down in the Camp Nou in Keena, right? You have just received a phone call from this footballer to record a football video. Who I think I know who it is, but who is that footballer that you are recording?
I think a lot of people say the obvious answer is Messi or Ronaldo or somebody like that. And for me, an obvious answer is Frank Lampard, because similar to Rooney, Frank was my fucking hero growing up. Not, for God's sake. He's back! He's back! Okay,
it's time!
Christ on a bike. What are you doing?
I need some sort of protection from the rain.
Where are you going? Are you going to town? Do you have a jacket on the back of the door there, no? Oh, this is mine.
No, there's one next to it.
Quick intermission, Greavac.
You're good.
Have fun in town. Oh. This is all staying in.
I know, that's why I'm laughing.
He's on that watch thing. Yeah.
Bye. Fun in town.
Bye.
Bye. Anyway, for fuck's sake.
I was just thinking, half this podcast is going to be just random cameos.
How this podcast just be me getting interrupted mid-sentence by somebody at the door? Oh, God, that's unreal.
That's class.
Yeah, similar to you with Rooney, Lampard was like the hero growing up. Probably not my first favorite Chelsea player, and I was only thinking about this today actually. When I first supported Chelsea when I was like 5 years old, the guy was Damien Duff for me. Like he was the man. I loved.
Oh, Damien Duff. That's a name, you know.
Bro, Damien Duff. I just had this weird fucking obsession with Damien Duff when I was a child, but it obviously grew into Frank Lampard because he was our best player over the years.
Yeah.
And I think he'd be really good. If we're talking about, okay, here's a different question. Obviously, you said Rooney, I've said Frank. If you're to pick a player that plays for Manchester United now, who's it going to be? Ew.
I mean, part of me actually wants to record with Harry Maguire.
Really?
Just to see like what he can do. Like, can he actually do anything? Like, I don't know if there was a clip that came out a while ago from Manchester United. This is back in the day with Phil Jones and Chris Smalling, and they had to hit a target. There was in front of them a goal, and they were just outside the box. And I can't remember if it was either Chris Smalling or Phil Jones, but one of them, I think, hit the ball so bad it missed the goal and rolled out to the sides. And that's, you know what, as funny, like as you know, as horrible as that is, I think it'd be funny to say I beat Harry Maguire in a penalty shootout,
Yeah,
or something like that. Like, if I was being honest, the one player I'd like to other than Maguire, of course, being the absolute GOAT that he is, I think I'd actually like to film with either Rashford, just because, you know, he's done a whole lot and it'd be actually interesting, or Luke Shaw.
Luke Shaw, yeah.
Yeah, and the reason I think I used to play left back.
Yeah, you did for us.
Yeah. we won't talk too much about the left back.
You actually you started off as a CDM, and then when we came back to under 19, you played left back. Yeah,
that was the weirdest thing I remember, because we're playing the CDM. I remember saying that, like, oh, I'm a defender, and then being played the CDM, I was like, right, well, I actually have to run now. You have to do work in the midfield.
Yeah.
I'd like to see what he says, what he does. I actually think he'd be a decent enough, you know, player to do some like football challenges with. So yeah, I'd be interested to see. And plus, he plays the position I played the last time I played soccer. So I said soccer like a football.
Soccer.
Last time I played football.
Oh, I love that. I think Rashford would be a good choice for United as well. I think he'd be very good, very, very good for a podcast either. Like, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
For me, out of the current Chelsea squad, I don't think it's even a question. Mason Mount, I think, would be definitely the one. Like, not only is he a baller, he just seems like a really sound, genuine lad, and gives me vibes that he'd be really up for like this YouTube stuff, because a lot of these like young English players grew up watching the likes of the Sidemen and people like that. Like, I remember like Declan Rice saying how much he loved watching like Cal Freezy and that, like, back in the day. And it's kind of like, shit, like these lads know what the crack is. Like, I don't see Mason Mount has done a lot of stuff with Chunks as well. So I reckon
it's celebrations.
Yeah. So I reckon Mason Mount would be a brilliant one, because I think not only is he so good at football, I think he'd be right up for it as well.
Definitely. I know I can back that. And like you say, just to have another player who was in that same, like, you know, era as us. Like, you know, he grew up when, you know, he watched the stuff, so like he knows what's going on. Like, so it actually could be like, you know, you hear about these, you know, like you film with like professional footballers and like they're kind of not awkward, but they're kind of
arrogant.
But like you talk about lads, you know, not much older than you coming into film a video, and then you grew up in the same era. Like, just make it an interesting video and actually a bit more crack with flow. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
definitely. I think I think that'll be the shout for me anyway. Because I think Theo Baker was on a podcast before. He's on the Fellas, and he mentioned how he filmed with Bournemouth one time.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, Benica Fobe, Steve Cook, and Jack Wilshere or something like that. And apparently they were all just absolute dickheads the whole way through it, because they don't really, like, they don't get it. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you get it, you get it. And the likes of Mason Mount, Declan Rice, you know, from United, you're looking at like Mason Greenwood, City, like Phil Foden, that kind of era that are in and around the same age as us. I feel like that kind of era is the kind of player I'd like to go with, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I fully back that. Like a young enough player, seems sound, and like you say, is a fucking baller. So yeah, I back it.
So let us know, lads. Mason Mount, you know, Marcus Rashford,
Harry
if you're
Maguire.
watching this, Harry Maguire. If you're watching this, you want to do a little football video down in the Farmers Field in Keena.
Could you imagine? Now I know it's never going to happen, but just imagine Harry Maguire sees a clip of us asking to come down to play football, not only in Ireland but in Keena.
In a sheep field.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that would be.
Oh, it could happen. It could happen. It could happen.
We can only hope, boys. We can only hope. Okay, now we've got the three from the same person that are
Right. Here
all
we go.
similar questions. They're all asking for our top three of three different things. Okay, and this is the way This is how we're gonna wrap the podcast. This is the last topic, right? Unless we can think of anything else, of course. The first top three. Which one will I go with? Okay, I'll go with this one. What are your top three favorite video games of all time?
Oh, I literally thought about this morning, right? I saw a clip. I didn't actually realize I had it saved on my YouTube. I don't know. So just what a top three is ranked.
Yeah, top three favorite video games.
Oh, that's really difficult for me. Do you want to go first?
Okay, I'll try. I think
I'm actually really struggling here, mate.
I might say my three and then try and put them in order after that. I can only think of two at the minute. And the first one is Spider-Man PS4.
Oh, yes, mate. Definitely.
Absolute banger. And I can't wait to get my PS5 to play the new one. Whenever that is. Whenever that happens. And I know this one is a banger, mate. What was your first console?
My first ever console.
Yeah.
A Nintendo DS, mate. Nintendo DS Lite, even.
Yeah. I had one of them myself. I think just before that, though. Well before that. My first console was the PS2. Right? PlayStation 2.
I know. I think I know where you're going with this.
And my fucking favorite game on that was Simpsons Hit and Run. It's a banger. It's a banger.
Mate, listen, if that game isn't remastered, they have lost out on a massive opportunity. If that game was remastered right now, I don't care how much it would cost. I don't care what console it's on. I would buy it with a new console. I'm buying Simpsons Hit and Run. Like you say, that is one of the best games ever. Growing up, and it's so simple.
Yeah,
but it's just so iconic.
It's basically GTA, but The Simpsons. Like that's the best thing about it. And honestly, I've got so many hours of enjoyment out of that game over the years. And if I was to go back and play it now, I still would fucking love it because it's. And when you say a remaster, I don't think I would want the graphics changed at all. I just would like a port to a PS5 or a PS4.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Because I think graphics-wise, it doesn't need to change because it's The Simpsons. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. But like, mate, that game, the writing was excellent. The story was fucking off the wall, and the gameplay was so fucking fun.
And the other thing about it as well was the fact that it was like open world.
Yeah, pretty much.
You could just and like you say, when we were young playing that game, like, mate, I cannot begin to describe, like you say, how good everything. Like, I think everything about that game is perfect.
Yeah,
everything.
Absolutely. So I think that those are my top two, and then for the third one, let me see. I played a lot of the Nintendo Wii, and I think my favorite game on that, I think it's got to be Super Smash Brothers Brawl.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I've played all the Smash games apart from the very first one, but this one was so good because it actually had a story mode to it as well. And absolute banger. If I went back and played it now, it probably wouldn't be a patch gameplay wise on the newest one for the Switch. But yeah, I think I'd have to put that purely for its story mode element. I think I have to put that in 3. If I can think of a different one, I'll put that in. But for now, I'm going Spider-Man, Simpsons Hit and Run, Smash Brawl. Those are my 3.
Fair. Okay. So, my top 3. I'm going to start off simple. In case you couldn't tell, Simpsons Hit and Run, definitely for me. Absolutely one of the best games. I actually remember I didn't have a PS2. My mate actually did. I didn't even have the 3 little fucking socket things you had to plug it in. I only had 2. So I actually played Simpsons Hit and Run. I played it without audio. I think I didn't. Yeah, I played it either without audio or without whatever the red one does. Can't remember what. I definitely remember playing it. It didn't work. I think I got about 10 minutes before it just went, nah, not having this. So that's my first one. My second one, and as nerdy as it sounds, but I will stand by this. This is one of my all-time favorite games. I will still replay the game today. It is. Which one do I want to choose? There's 2 in my head. I will go with it's Pokemon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with probably Pokemon. Oh, I'll go with Soul Silver.
Yeah.
The other one I was thinking of was Pokemon Platinum. So like Diamond Pearl, basically.
Diamond and Pearl. Yeah.
But yeah, I between those 2, I spent so many hours playing that. Like I said, I didn't actually have an Xbox or a PlayStation 2 growing up. Like I just had the DS.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't change. That's how I grew up because I had so many hours of proper enjoyment from that. And like you said, it's such a simple thing, but like,
yeah,
I absolutely just fell in love with it from there. Like, and
we were actually only talking about those games because the Diamond and Pearl are getting remasters for the Switch.
Oh mate, I'm so excited for that.
I was actually very close to putting Pokemon Diamond in my top 3. And I might still because I fucking loved it. But those old games, those old Pokemon games with like the simplistic graphics. Man, when was the last time was Soul Silver the most recent Pokemon game you've played, or have you played one? Have you played one of them?
Admittedly, I stopped after Soul Silver. The reason, like exactly for the reason of that, mate. Like when it started getting a bit more modern, I started kind of, I don't know what I was. I just thought I was because I didn't like the Pokemon in the gen, and I still not a massive fan of them. But I just couldn't get out of that, Nintendo fizz. Like I still have. I actually only found. Actually, I do have it. Look, I only found.
The
other day.
The stickers on it and everything.
I bought a charger from Amazon. I'm gonna replay Soul Silver, I think, or Platinum if I can find it. But like exactly like that, mate. I just couldn't accept. Like the game was perfect on DS, like you said, the graphics and just the simplistic nature of it. Like it didn't need. I
think that was part of the charm.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was a humble little game, trying to stay, in the game between, Xbox and PlayStation. And like I said, I don't care, mate. I will always, I have an Xbox One. I'm probably going to get a PlayStation 5 like yourself. I will still play Pokemon on that DS, however many years later.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely GOAT game.
Yeah, I agree. I think the thing with the modern games, they look amazing. Don't get me wrong, but I think there was me and Danny Ritchie only talked about this last night because Danny has actually started replaying his way through Heart Gold. So this is quite relevant for us at the minute. But like, I think there was an element of difficulty with the older games, and like the new games. I've played Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Let's Go. Now let me just say Let's Go Pikachu. It is for kids. Yeah, you can just tell. Like it's dumbed down version of the early games, but Pokemon Sword was far too easy. Like I got the DLC and everything, and the DLC is far better than the main game. I'm just gonna put it out there straight away.
I heard a lot about that actually. I remember people like I watched people play it just to see like what people think of it. But seems to be a general consensus that it's too easy. Like back in the day, like I actually remember first time I played it. Like this is Platinum now. I struggled so much. Like I would have to reset. I actually bought, mate, an action replay.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so to give myself like 99 rare candies so I could level my Pokemon up, because I think they said like Heart Gold and Soul Silver is one of the most difficult games at a point. It's like when you get to the last game in the Johto region, apparently, like, or not the Johto region, the last fight in the game, I think it's Red.
Red in the
you fight Red on
the mountain.
I think the average level, I think, of a gym before that is like 50 or 60.
Yeah.
And then Reds has like 70, 80 level Pokemon. Like you're just going in 20 levels lower.
Yeah, it's unreal. And that's why I don't think I ever fully played through Heart Gold. And I want to when Danny finishes his, because I've heard it's absolutely incredible. But like, yeah, the first Pokemon games I played were the Diamond and Pearl ones, and absolutely fell in love with them. Delighted they're getting a remaster. But yeah, anyway, your third and final game.
This one, I don't think anyone's gonna. Well, maybe a few people have heard of, but this is the game I was reminiscing over recently, because I have a whole playthrough saved in my YouTube from back when I was like 11 or 12. That's how much I love this game. My third game is Lego Universe.
Oh.
Now, I will explain it. So what this was, mate, this was an online multiplayer game, right? Where you created your character, and I can't remember the story behind it. I'll have to watch it again just to get the gist of it. But basically, you start off, there's a big war going on between, the heroes, which are like 4 different factions. And then these dark something, I can't remember this. They're called dark something, basically. But you start off there, you pick your faction, you travel down and you fight your way up. It's like, how would you describe it? It's like kind of Minecraft with like loads of other players, but it's Lego and you fight things with it. Like, honestly, just look up a couple of clips of Lego Universe. It doesn't look incredibly entertaining, but I had so much enjoyment. Like, I spent hours, if not days, like upstairs on the computer just playing this game. Like, I remember when it closed down, I cried like a baby, man. Like, I was heartbroken because this was my whole world. This literally was my whole world. I was so invested in it, and like, I loved Lego as a child. So to be able to like, make my own Lego person and do my own thing, it's unreal. And like I said, I didn't have an Xbox or a PlayStation, so what I had was very limited. So like, it was very limited to like single player stuff that you do by yourself. So when I actually experienced this open world multiplayer Lego game,
different world,
I just got invested, mate. Like, it's really, really hard to describe.
Yeah,
like,
I'm gonna have to have a look at that now. When you said was it Lego
Universe?
Lego Universe. I thought it was a different game. I thought there was a different. There is a different game called like Lego Dimensions or something like that, but it has like.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah,
like there's lots of different like weird characters that shouldn't be in the same universe. It was like Batman and like Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, it was like, that's what I thought you were on about. But I haven't even. I have to have a look at that. I will have to have a look.
Yeah, it's definitely a niche game, but yeah, goated for me. But anyway, Kelly, we've come to the stage now where we have to make a difficult decision. We have to rank those our 3 games. So I'll start with you because you started. Out of the 3 games you named, rank them from third to first. Third being the game you least enjoy, the one that you. I'm only messing, mate. I just rank your top 3.
All right.
I was just trying to dig the knife in.
You're third. You picked this one third. You hate that game.
You despise this game. If this game ever came back, you would never buy it, mate.
Okay, this one isn't even a question. Third is Smash Brawl. As much as I loved it, and as much as the story mode was really, really good, it was literally like Infinity War before Infinity War. That was the kind of sense of it. You had all your favorite Nintendo characters in the world.
Yeah, that's actually a class description. That's exactly what it was.
It was Infinity War before Infinity War, and like, I remember as well, I'll stop going off on tangents here, but I'll just say this really quick, right? At the end of this story mode, you're at a sense where, the characters need one more big final push to get the win against this big dark entity or whatever, yeah. And they're like, they don't know what to do, and some of them have been turned back into statues or something like that. Like, and then out of fucking nowhere comes not only, my absolute favorite video game character of all time to save the day when everybody needed him most. Sonic the Hedgehog comes out of nowhere. And I remember as a child being like, holy shit. Oh, man.
It's like seeing God emerge.
Yeah, oh, man. Fucking 10-year-old Aaron was absolutely gassed. But yeah, that has got to go third.
Okay.
Second.
This is where it gets difficult.
Second, I'm going to have to go with...
Oh, it hurts. It hurts.
I'm going to have to go Hit and Run second.
Oh, really? Jeez. Okay. I wasn't expecting that. I have to admit, I wasn't expecting that.
I'm going to go Hit and Run second, but it's so fucking tight, mate. And the only reason I'm giving top spot to Spider-Man is because, like, that game is a fucking experience. Like, it's...
Yeah.
I love when a good story is told within a game as well. And that game could have been multiple Spider-Man movies crammed into one. Like, you had fucking Sinister Six shit going on, and you had a deadly virus that was killing everyone, and you had, like, characters with genuine fucking, like, well-written arcs and, like, emotions and shit. And it was just, like, apart from the gameplay being amazing, which they already nailed, but, like, the combat and swinging and all that, which they obviously learned from past Spider-Man games being a bit shit. This one was unbelievable gameplay wise, but just its story, mate. Honestly, when you get a PS5, yeah, go back. They actually remastered Spider-Man PS4 for the PS5. Go and play that before you play Miles, because it is an experience. It is so good. And for me, it's got to take the top spot. It's in my eyes the perfect game. The perfect game.
All right. No, I back it. I back it.
What about you?
Yeah, I've been thinking while you've been talking, mate. I was listening, obviously. I don't mean it like that. But
shut up.
No. I was just thinking, right? I'm trying to think how I'm going to rank these, and I think I've done it. So, in the third spot, and there is a reason behind this, I'm going to go with Lego Universe. Now, when I say I love Lego, if Lego Universe came back tomorrow, my name is first on it. Like, I promise I will be the first person on it. And you know, like, you go into games and you see people are like a level 1,000 and like really overpowered. Yeah, that's me. I'll be that person in Lego
the
Universe.
God of Lego Universe.
Yeah, I will be that person in Lego Universe. But the only reason I put it there is because it just, the window I found out about it versus the window I played it for, it just was so short. Like, I didn't really experience the full thing. And just thinking back to, the other games I've said, I definitely spent more time playing them. Now, like you said, it is fine margins. Like, it is minuscule. Like, if I could, these would all be in my top. Like, if we were in the tier list, these would all be an S for me, no doubt about it. But I'm gonna go with Lego Universe third. And the same as yourself, mate, I'm gonna put Hit and Run second.
Yeah.
And again, the reason for this is because I didn't actually. I had to borrow a PS2 to play the game. But I naively enough, when Jack got an Xbox, he found out that he looked up games that you could play on Xbox 360. And I saw Simpsons Hit and Run was there. Now, I didn't read that it was just original Xbox, not 360. So I'm pretty sure somewhere in the game collection, I actually do have an original Xbox Simpsons Hit and Run game. Jeez. That just has never been played, and it is the most heartbreaking thing that I've ever lived through. But yeah, Simpsons Hit and Run, mate, was, and again, very, very fine margins, but it was so good, and like you say, just everything about it was pretty much perfect.
Spot on, yeah.
My number one game has to be Pokemon. I'm gonna say Platinum because it was the first one I played, but just so good. Like, I spent hours at this. Like, do you know the way you have Mario Kart DS memes where it's like your parent walks in, you're hiding under the pillow.
Yeah.
I did that with Pokemon Platinum because I would literally stay up all night playing that game.
No, sorry, mate.
You're all good. You're all good.
Needs Danny's laptop.
Yeah. Is there a charger for it? Or
There should be a lead with it as well, yeah. Fucking interruptions, it's shocking.
There's going to be some cameos in these.
Oh, I tell you, professionalism.
Yeah. We're going to need to get like a little cutaway screen, like a little segment.
or a sign on the door that says fuck off.
Yeah.
One or the other.
A little red blinking light that just says recording.
That's it. That's grand. Thank you.
Yeah. What are you saying? Yeah, Platinum. Yeah.
Yeah, Platinum, mate. Like Platinum, or for other people who didn't play Platinum, Diamond or Pearl, basically. So good. Like, I spent so much time, and I have so many memories as well because my mates, like from primary school, played it as well.
Yeah.
Like just to have that and be able to battle, and you could actually experience the proper trade inside of it.
Yeah.
It was so good, man. And
yeah, can't wait for the remasters.
Yeah, exactly. When I found out that it was the remaster coming out,
you're gonna have to get yourself a Switch.
I do have a Switch, mate.
Do you?
Yeah, I got a Switch. I bought a Switch for my sister's birthday because they were obsessed with like the Switch. So I do have a Switch available, and I've already stayed playing. It's coming to the Switch, no matter what anyone says. It's coming to the Switch. I don't care if I have to buy the SD card or whatever. It's coming to the Switch because it's unbelievable. There's another. The other one was what was the other one they announced? It was like a remastered version of Platinum as well, or something like that. No,
the remastered of Diamond and Pearl. Yeah, Arceus, which is completely like it's a prequel to everything apparently.
Yeah. But it's set in the Sinnoh region. Well.
Yeah, it's in the Sinnoh region. And there's the three starters are Oshawott, Rowlet, and Cyndaquil. Speaking of Rowlet, actually, 2 seconds. I want to show you. I will be 100% picking Rowlet as my starter. I was going to go Cyndaquil, but because of this meme that Danny painted this.
Oh my god, what?
Yeah.
Bro, that's sick.
Rowlet is getting...
That is fully sick.
Rowlet is going to be my starter in that game, 100%.
Here's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting question, Kelly. You're getting the game. Would you ever do a little bit of a Pokemon playthrough? Would you ever consider
I was thinking about that, mate. And I won't lie, I did a bit of research. You can't record on the Switch Lite. You can't record the Elgato. I'm going to buy an Elgato for myself so I can record. But
yeah.
You can't record on the Switch Lite because there's no dock for it. But my brother Zach has an actual Switch, like with this is my Switch, a Switch Lite. It's not a actual Switch. It doesn't have the detachable Joy-Cons. But Zach has an actual Switch, so if I ask him nicely, maybe we might get a little playthrough of Legends of Arceus or whatever it's called, because that looks fucking insane. Or maybe even the actual Sinnoh remakes, because buzzing. I love how this section has just been us absolutely like fantasizing over our love for Pokemon. I love it.
I'm actually the same as you, Kelly. I really, really wanted to do a Pokemon playthrough, but I wanted to do. Have you heard of a Nuzlocke?
Yeah. So if the Pokemon faints, they're dead. You can't get them back.
Yeah, basically, and you can only get one encounter every new route, basically, and that's the encounter. Like you can't get a different encounter. I really wanted to do that, and I think now, like you say, that there's a Sinnoh remake or a good Pokemon game or a good generation of Pokemon game that I played as a child coming up. I really am tempted to do a Nuzlocke or something like that, or at least a playthrough of it, because like I said, so in love with that series.
Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. And we do have a little video that we have to get done. I don't know. We could realistically do it over Discord. We could do it as we're doing it at the minute, or we could just wait till we're back in person. And that is a Pokemon Showdown match between me and you.
Do you know what? Yeah,
we actually recorded that. We recorded that, and then the footage got corrupted.
Yeah, it went. Well, as far as I remember, it went very bad for me. I got outplayed. But see, the thing about it is, right, the way I play Pokemon, like I'm only recently properly, learning it, like because like effects and stuff like this, and like I never really did that. When I played Pokemon, I was all like, right, this move does 120 damage. I don't care if it has 5 accuracy.
It's super effective.
When it hits, I don't care if my Pokemon is on the floor bleeding. When it hits, this guy's done.
Yeah, I've always been the same. And I played through Sword and Shield with that mindset as well. But I'm trying to open my eyes up more, because whenever I play Pokemon against Danny in Showdown, Sword and Shield, Let's Go, whatever it may be, I get out fucking played because he just knows everything.
Yeah, to be fair, Danny is a Pokemon. Like he's
a Pokemon master. If ever I did see one,
exactly. He is. It's going to take some effort for one of us to take him down. I don't think it's going to be me, mate.
Yeah, like he plays with Jack Greenburn that did the Among Us videos with us.
Oh yeah.
He plays Pokemon with Danny a lot, and he likes to think of himself as really, really good. And apparently, whenever they fight, Danny always absolutely wipes the floor with him, and he hates it.
Mate, I'm telling you, there's a video in here. There is
certainly
a bit of a tournament style.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Right. Okay. We'll move on from Pokemon because
we've just lost everyone.
Please, if you ever. So, but if you're not into Pokemon, apologies for that last me and Jack absolutely fanboying over everything Pokemon and Sinnoh related. So,
definitely,
we've got 2 more questions, 2 more top 3s, and the next one is top 3 favorite movies of all time.
All right. I'm happy enough to start if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, I would say my third best movie. See, this is going to sound really biased, but if you don't know, lads, I love Batman. Like, I know, like, everyone has their opinion of him, but I just grew up with Batman. Like, I didn't grow up with Spider-Man. I didn't grow up with, Superman. I grew up with Batman, and I, again, don't regret it. So, I could get a lot of stick for this. But my third best movie is going to be oh god, what is it called? It's going to do my head in. I have to Google it.
Christian Bale Batman, is it?
It's not actually a Batman one, but my top 2 are Batman related, so people are going to hate me for it. But,
okay.
Oh god. Oh mate, what is Shawshank Redemption? That's what it is.
Banger. That's in my top 3 too.
Redemption is unbelievable. Like I remember I watched it in school, I think, but I've watched it like 5 or 6 times now. And I remember thinking like, this is shit. And then I actually watched it and then I was like, this is the best film ever.
Yeah.
I just think it's so good on so many levels. Right. Number 2. I'm gonna say The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
The reason I say The Dark Knight, I wanted to say it was between Dark Knight and Joker, and I know Joker's probably more recent and it's more like I still fanboyed over Joker as well.
Yeah.
But I've seen The Dark Knight, the Heath Ledger Joker, and it's just so good. Like that's where I really, really fell in love with Batman. But
I have a confession to make, mate. I've never watched The Dark Knight.
You know what? I can allow that because see, I know you're a Marvel. I know you're a Marvel person. So
it's not even that. I've always like everybody talks about how The Dark Knight is one of the best movies of all time, and I can't disagree with them because you can't you look at how well it did and how well it was received, and I've always I want to watch it, but I just something has always come up and I never got around to it. Hopefully now that I have a bit of free time, I will get to watch it, and I'm sure I won't be disappointed. Like I have sky high expectations for it.
Yeah, honestly, mate. Like, just trying to think what happens early. Yeah, no, you. It starts quick, and it ends with a bang. That's all I'll say.
Okay, right. Okay. Noted.
Then, right. So my top film all time. Oh, that's a difficult one. I'm going to say Oh God, I regret my decision now. You know what, mate? I actually don't know what my all-time
It's
favorite
a
movie
tough
is.
question. It really is when you
It,
put
it
on the spot
really
like that.
is. Have you got any? Have you got an idea of yours?
I'm trying to look.
And you can come back to me.
I'm looking up at my collection of movies here, trying to see if there's any I can think of. Hang on.
It's proper difficult, lad.
I got it. No, without a
Kelly's
doubt,
literally going through his library.
my favorite movie.
Oh yes. Oh yes. You know what, mate? Keep that, because in like 20 years, that's going to be worth millions the way KSI's going.
Yeah, absolutely. But no offense to KSI or Casper Lee or anybody involved in that movie.
That was a terrible movie.
That stunk.
That was so shit. Okay, I think, yeah, Shawshank is going to be... I'm going to put Shawshank in there. I don't know where yet, though. I think you mentioned Marvel. Avengers Infinity War. Obviously, the big one.
Oh, yeah. I actually watched that recently with my girlfriend, mate, and that is so good. So good, man.
Like,
unreal.
Shits on Endgame, in my opinion. Shits on it.
Really?
Absolutely, mate. Like, don't get me wrong, Endgame is great, and it's great that you can see how people reacted to the Thanos snap, you know, and all that kind of stuff, and how different people went in different directions. But Infinity War, mate, is just a fucking roller coaster from start to finish. Like, it is, and the way it ended as well is like something that was a big fucking risk. But
no, I get it.
And Thanos is one of the, you know, greatest villains of all time. I'm not going to say he's the greatest, because I think that has to go to Joker, if I'm being honest. But
okay, yeah, no, I back it.
And I think Joker, like, what's his name, Joaquin Phoenix, I think that's going to be in my top 3 as well, mate. I can't lie. Like,
God, so honestly, to see him when I watched it, I watched it with a mate, and they were saying to me that, like, it was really creepy, but like it wasn't a creepy, but I just couldn't stop smiling the whole way through, because like I love Batman. I love the whole universe of Batman, and to see the transformation into Joker towards the end, like it.
Amazing.
I just loved it.
Joaquin Phoenix, like one of the best individual performances from an actor I think I've ever seen. Like, unbelievable. And as I've just said, I like Batman. I like the concept of Batman. I've never really gotten into Batman, but I still was so excited to go see this movie, because it does strike you as something that's, even if you're not a fan of the Batman universe, this is not about the Batman universe. It's not about Batman at all. It's about the mental health of this guy slowly spiraling out of control. And you definitely leave the cinema wondering what the fuck you just saw, because like,
fact, like, I actually remember when I watched it, we had to actually go like do something else. Like, we actually went to Tesco's and had to just like walk around and like go into different shops and just try and process. Like, we couldn't just you can't really watch, if you're watching it for the first time, you can't really, you know, sit and just watch it and go home and say, yeah, that's all right. Like,
yeah, like, this movie had me thinking for days, like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, man.
And I was waiting for like MatPat and the Game Theorists to come out with their video to try and like break it down as to what's real and what's not in this movie. Like, what is all in his head and what is like actually transpiring. And the way it ended and all that kind of stuff. Actually, I've just seen something, mate. That's got to go in the top 3. It's got to go in the top 3. Oh, mate, hang on.
Oh no, what is it?
Oh fuck! This has to go in. This can't not. Spider-Man Into the fucking Spider-Verse, mate.
Oh, how have I forgot about that? Oh, chuck that in my list.
Not only is this top 3, this is top 1, mate. This is the best movie I've ever seen. I'm convinced of that.
Do you know what? I agree. I fully agree with you. I actually only watched it a couple of months ago, mate. But oh my God, is it good?
And my question,
it is so good.
What do I take out of my top 3 now? Oh no.
Yeah, you're in the mud, mate. I'm happy to just throw that into number 1, definitely.
Oh, what do I get rid of? Oh shit.
Too bad
it's got to be either Shawshank or Infinity War.
Oh mate, I'm sorry. I know Shawshank is good, but I think Infinity War could stay. You know.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm gonna go Infinity War
I don't-
3, Joker 2, Into the Spider-Verse 1. There it is.
Yeah,
No further explanation required.
no, leave it there. Just know that it is an amazing film. If you haven't seen it, see it because it is so good. Just everything about it is good.
What was your top 3 again? What order did you go?
So my top 3, I'm going to say, is Shawshank Redemption, The Dark Knight, and then Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, banged it. Okay, love that. I can't believe I spotted that last minute. I'm delighted I did spot it now, though, to be fair.
Yeah, do you know what, mate? Because I literally blanked when you asked me that question. So thank God you actually.
Right.
You
Last
remembered.
question. Top 3 favorite TV shows.
Oh, I know already. Right. So okay, I have my top 2 definitely. What do I want to throw in there? Let me think. Or do you want to go first, mate? Because I went first last time.
If you have 2, I'll let you go first because I'm actually struggling here at the minute. I can't lie.
All right. Right. Yeah. Okay. I'm happy enough with these. So number 3 is The Simpsons.
Yeah, I have that too.
I no matter what happens, lads, and my family say to me all the time, like I've probably seen most of the Simpsons episodes before the kind of new generation where I kind of lost a lot of interest. I just didn't hit the same for me, like the old generation, which is the old episodes were so good. But I don't care. I will watch The Simpsons. Like if someone said to me, if there was only one show left on the world and it was The Simpsons, I'd say, you know what, I'm happy enough. I'll sit down. Like I would sit down happily and watch The Simpsons no matter what mood I'm in.
I'd watch that all day, genuinely.
Yeah, honestly, like it's just one of those shows that you can just watch and watch. It's like the humor's so simple, but it just works.
Yeah.
So my 2 shows. It's close. My number 2 is a series called Top Boy.
Top Boy rings a bell.
It's about a series. Okay, so there was Top Boy, and then there was Top Boy Summer House.
Right.
So it's basically a series about the gang war or the feud, a war. Gangs basically having between drugs. The most recent one, which is the one that I'm moving in now, Top Boy, the 3 seasons before this one were very, very good, and I watched them as well. But this one was, I don't know why, I just got so into it. Like it was, I can't really even describe it, but like to see, that side of it and the ending as well, and finding out what we found out without giving away spoilers, man. Like it was my first time watching it, and I didn't really understand the connection properly until I rewatched everything else.
Yeah.
But it hit me so hard. Like I remember I was actually in Liffey Valley doing shopping. My family went into a furniture store. I stayed in the car and watched an episode of Top Boy, and they came back, and I was almost in tears, man. It messed me up, but like, it's just a really good series. I really liked it. It got like it's violent and like it's some people probably not their taste, but I just really liked and enjoyed watching that series and seeing that insight to not even a third of how bad it can get. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. Really interesting.
I recommend it, mate. Just it's one of those ones where it's I can't even describe it. It's one of those ones you have to see it, and if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And it's one of those things that. But my number 1 TV show is gotta be Peaky Blinders, mate.
Really? Yeah.
I am obsessed with Peaky Blinders. I love everything about it. I watched it as just to see like what people, because I saw loads of memes and clips about it. I watched it just to say I watched it. I got so invested in it towards the end, and like I've got pretty much my whole family hooked on Peaky Blinders now. It's just so good, and just seeing how it develops and all that kind of stuff. Again, it's so good. And I really like Cillian Murphy, and
he's excellent.
The way he portrays Tommy is so good. But yeah, they're my top 3, and I'm fairly confident and rock solid with them.
Yeah, that's solid. To be fair, that is solid. Let me see. Okay, you're gonna see a very, very common theme throughout my three here, but I'm gonna give some honorable mentions first. Right, if we're talking TV shows, I'm gonna honorable mentions to The Mandalorian and
Oh yeah. Shit.
Stranger Things.
Yeah.
They're honorable mentions. But top three, right? Simpsons is third, as you said. I'd watch that shit all day.
Has to be.
Second, oh, you're gonna see such a common theme here. It's just comedy. They're all just comedy series.
Yeah, but do you know what, mate? Comedy's elite. Like, you can't beat comedy. Like, I know mine were like, heavy hitting drama, but if I'm being honest, mate, like, I'd watch more comedy than I would ever, heavy hitting serious like Netflix series. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. Like, I'd watch, I'd enjoy them heavy hitting ones as well. But I just can't. These two that are first and second, I can't not put them in my top three, mate, because I quote them on the regular, the two of them.
Okay, now, yeah, I know what it is now.
Number two.
Strong.
Number two is the In-Betweeners.
It has to be. It had to be. Kelly lived by this.
Mate, you know me in school. I was basically quoting In-Betweeners every couple of seconds. Like,
so good, though. But it was so funny just listening to your, like, every 5 minutes. Oh, sorry.
Oh, friend. Football friend.
We still quote that. We still say that.
That's the thing. They've changed me. They've changed me into a different man. In-Betweeners second, and I could have been first. But yeah, I love everything In-Betweeners related. And number one is the US Office. I can't.
You know what, mate?
I can't not.
You know what? I can't believe I forgot that. I'm striking Top Boy out. Top Boy's gone. US Office number one. Number one. Every day. Yeah, I don't give a fuck, mate. That show is my comfort show. Over lockdown, I probably binge watched that at least 2 or 3 times all the way through all seasons.
Yeah, and again, incredibly quotable as well. Like, it's unbelievable.
It's iconic, mate. It's iconic.
Yeah.
Like, I think back to it, and every time I watch it, I think, like, no matter how many times I watch this, I just don't get bored of it.
Yeah. And like most shows, it falls off a little bit towards the end, admittedly. But like, there's still some moments in there. If you watch a comedy and you rewatch it and rewatch it and rewatch it, as much as I have as the Office and the In-Betweeners, and you still find that level of humor in it, like, it's a winner. It's a winner. It's a winner straight away. Like, I can't not.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
No, I fully agree with you, mate. I think In-Betweeners, like, they're two really, really iconic shows. Like, if I'm being honest, like honorable mentions as well to them, but The Office to me is just so. I love Steve Carell. Like, honest to God, I love Steve Carell so much. He's so good at what he does.
Everybody was so good in that show. Like, you had John Krasinski as well, who was absolutely unbelievable. I can't remember the name of the guy who plays Dwight, but yeah, Dwight Schrute.
Legends.
Legend of the game. And then you have like the little side characters like Stanley and Kevin and Oscar and fucking Angela.
And the thing about them is, mate, like, they don't get a lot of lines, but like, they have some so iconic moments in it. Like, I think that's what makes it so good, is that even like the background people, just, they still manage to make you like laugh or giggle in some sense. Like, it may not be every time, but they're still there, and they're still, a massive part of it. I just think that show is just perfect.
I got to give another honorable mention to a show that I just finished and has just finished, WandaVision. Obviously, you know me, I'm a massive Marvel fan. WandaVision was incredible, mate. If you ever do get into like the Marvel stuff, WandaVision is incredibly good. Like, obviously, it replicates some of the best like sitcoms, like 50, goes through the decades, like 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, noughties, and The Office is the last one that it replicates with like their intro and the interviews and stuff. And you've probably seen the clip going around Twitter of Wanda being all like, must be just a case of the Mondays. Am I right? Like that episode is like a mix between Modern Family and The Office. And yeah, WandaVision gets a big A star for me. Very sad, actually, WandaVision. I can't lie. It was very, very sad.
My woman watched it as well, and she broke her. She like, and so many people. I remember watching, like, going on Twitter the day it came out, and people just being like heartbroken over it. Now, I've seen the end of WandaVision just because people put up on Twitter. And, like, without even understanding all the implications behind it. Like it is a really sad like ending. Like
Yeah.
and in all seriousness, they probably didn't have to end it like that.
Yeah, like you end up feeling sorry for Wanda because it's like she's been through so much fucking shit, and like, you know, obviously you said you watched Infinity War with Caitlin, didn't you? And you know, the ending of that, or the ending of Endgame, obviously everybody gets their families back and their loved ones back and all that.
Yeah.
Except her, because Vision is dead.
Man. It's so
shit.
It's peak.
It's such a like. Don't get me wrong, really, really good show. Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany were absolutely incredible in it. But oh my god, the ending was so bad. But yeah, I think we've answered them questions pretty well. We've got into some decent conversations as well. I have nothing else to chat about, mate. Have you got anything else you wanted to chat about?
I've had 2 stinkers today. I don't have another stinker.
Fair enough. Well, seeing as though you introed it, mate, I'll let you outro it as well there.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in to episode 16 of the ShiteTalk podcast. I almost did a Shite podcast, the same as Kelly. Almost did have my 3rd stinker. But yeah, if you did enjoy, lads, please give it a like, subscribe to the ShiteTalk podcast. You know, try and get us to 100 subscribers by the end of the year, or even by summer if you're feeling a bit cheeky and a bit naughty. Try and get Kelly as well to 500 subscribers. Trying to do that before, was it the end of lockdown or?
Yeah, I'm letting you cut my trim, aren't I?
Yeah, so in case you didn't follow lads on Twitter, if Kelly gets 500 subscribers, I'm going to cut his hair, and you can just imagine the styles that, you know, I'm going to go for, and I will be going for. So getting to 500 subscribers, you want to see that absolutely banging video. You know, consider subscribing to myself, the True Lily White. I haven't posted in 6 months, but maybe if you subscribe, I'll post again for you guys. You know, be a bit interesting. And other than that, thank you very much for watching, guys. Stay safe, and we will chat to you guys in a bit. Take it easy.
And I'm back like I ain't never left. Take me to church here, let me confess. Last year I had a lot on my mind like Tony Stark, couldn't get it off my chest. But now I'm back to back like I'm Aubrey. Reborn, yeah, everything blessed. From the ashes brings a new story. Show, don't tell, I'ma ace this test. Last year, 100k on the AdSense. Your channel ain't